I mean, with all the stand-up shows that you've done, have you ever had racists show up at your shows?
Sure.
What's the most racist thing that's happened at your shows?
Recently I got into it with this guy on Twitter, and I was playing a gig in Hermosa Beach, and he showed up and was heckling racist shit in the background, and it just was hilarious to me. It was just, so they ended up putting him out, and he was shouting shit and I just thought it was hilarious. I think that there is a purity in comedy and humor that I know I'm involved in and I know this, but that doesn't exist anywhere else. I think there's an honesty that doesn't exist anywhere else. I think you can say things. The reason that we're starting to be less empathic as a society is because now, instead of laughing, you got to tell people when to laugh. When you write an email or a text or a tweet, you put LOL. You give them cues as to what they're supposed to do. You direct them. You might as well have an applause sign that tells people when to laugh. And I think it has dulled our senses that way.
Right, and the type of comedy you could do now is not the type of comedy that you were able to do. I mean, remember Tracy Morgan had to apologize for a joke about killing his gay son.
And I thought that really became a different thing. He was doing a show for a group of people, I think in Memphis or somewhere in Tennessee. That was their show. Somebody out of context put that up on the air, and the audience didn't complain about it. There was nobody that complained about it. Weeks later, somebody put what he did out of context in the zeitgeist, and people got to see it and make a decision about it.
I mean, what do you think about, in this current climate, and you being a comedian?
Sure.
You can't really make gay jokes anymore.
Why?
Without a certain level of backlash.
I don't get it. I can make any joke. Like today, people got mad. Like there have been 4 United States Navy warships that have crashed in Asia, in Asian waters. And I went, and we say those motherfuckers can't drive. So I just think, we have crashed so much, and the Navy has crashed so much, they're about to get their fucking insurance canceled. So I don't think anything, I just think everything has the potential to be funny and ironic. And I think gay people or black people or women or religion can't be exempt from it.
I mean, do you think there's such thing as a positive stereotype?
I wouldn't mind if I was called Jewish. I don't think that's if somebody said, "Oh, you have money and I don't think that's a negative stereotype, but I don't think that there are things.
Well, here's the thing, right? So when people say that all Jews are rich, there is a
I don't know how I'm sure that
right. I mean, I'll break it down for you though. Like people say all Jews are rich,
right.
But there's an undertone that they actually stole that money.
I wouldn't know that, but I'll take the rich part.
Right.
I'll take the rich part.
When they, whenever you have a stereotype, there's always an undertone. Like, when they say all Asians are good at math, there is an undertone of...
When all Asians are good at math, I don't get what there are some stereotypes I get and go, I wouldn't be pissed at that. If they...
Okay.
Like when we was a kid and we would go somewhere and there would be an Asian kid, we automatically assumed he knew karate. Now that was fucked up. But the fact... that was fucked up. But if you walk into a room right now and you see an Asian kid, you automatically go, that kid is going to set the mathematic curve.
Okay, but there's an implication that they're not creative and all they could do is math. You see what I'm saying?
No.
It always, saying that all blacks are good at sports. There's an implication
if
that
I was,
they
I
may
wouldn't
not
be
good at
the only
other things
reason
except for
I
sports.
would be
You see
mad
what I'm
at
saying?
that if I was shitty at sports like I am. I wouldn't care. Like there are some things that you can't even. Oh, I can't believe they think all of us are good at sports. I like that. That wouldn't make me mad.
Right, and that's the thing. You're automatically prejudging someone before you actually know anything about them, just based on their appearance.
Right.
And this is why I'm saying, is there such a thing as a good stereotype? Because like I said,
yes,
you're not good at sports,
such thing as a good stereotype.
Sports, and that,
if you're good at
sets
sports,
a certain tone.
You're good at math, you're rich. Those are not horrible stereotypes. They don't get you pulled over and shot by the police. One of them does.
Right. Well, for example, they say Mexicans are hardworking, but when you say that, you're only really talking about manual labor. You're not. If they really were that hardworking, they should be all the CEOs as well,
Well,
right?
no, because I don't know anybody who works harder than poor people. I'll tell you what I've never seen. I've never seen, and I grew up in Los Angeles, I have never seen a Mexican cat begging somebody for money. I've never seen it. I've seen them ask for jobs or say, I want to, but I have never seen them ask for money. Now, I don't know what that means. I've never seen it. And I've been around a good little bit. I've never seen a sign. I've seen white dudes do it. I've seen black dudes do it. I've seen women do it. I've never seen a Mexican kid, man, out there with a sign that asks for money. Ever.
Have you ever seen an Asian with a sign?
No, either. I've never seen that either.
See?
No, I've never seen that either. No, I actually have. I actually have in the Bay Area. I actually have seen that before. I've seen it before.
Really?
Yes, I have.
I don't think I've ever seen an Asian.
I have.
I mean, there's certain things that just culturally happen in certain societies. For example, you never really see old Asian people in like old folks' homes.
No.
Because culturally, they take care of their
right.
parents.
And you very rarely see black people because we'll put a hospital bed in the middle of our living room. That dude, your grandmother will die while you watching TV. I'm not even kidding. So I think culturally you're right, but I think that even if those were stereotypes, I read that book, Whistling Vivaldi. You ever read that book? And it talked about stereotypes and how they exist and all that kind of stuff. I think we pretend to be way more offended by stuff than is necessary. Way more offended.
Or do you think that society in general is just getting less violent and
it's not getting less violent?
It's not getting less violent?
Well, let me ask you. There in the last 10 years, 303,000 Americans were killed by other Americans. That's cool.
Right. I'm not talking about 10 years. I'm talking about 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years.
Look, I don't know about what I read. I know about this. I know that larger cities are getting safer and safer. The violence seems more real now, but obviously, yes, violence, murder.
When you look at like the Inquisition and not only the number of people they killed, but in the creative ways they invented killing people.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but they couldn't go into a building. They didn't have the wherewithal to do it like we did. It was more menial. I think that we are. I will give you that by and large, societies are getting safer. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Societies as a whole, and I'm talking over the last 1,000 years.
Not to the 300,000 people that got killed in the last 10 years, but by and large, societies. I don't know that America is the safest society, but by and large, societies are getting safer. Large societies.
Right. Because that's what I'm saying. You even go back 50 or 100 years, interracial marriage was considered illegal. Certain things, level of tolerance. There are negative aspects of it, but the fact that there is a level of sensitivity towards saying certain negative things towards certain groups of people is generally considered unacceptable by society. When you look at what's happening with Trump right now, people are not feeling his rhetoric. People are not feeling white nationalism in terms of the whole country.
There are things that are not accepted by society. There are things society doesn't pretends not to accept. And he's the answer to that. You would never have a guy who said what he said, grabbed pussies, talked about the Pope, he's done some insane things. And, just recently, the fact that he's still president and still is above 30% means somebody accepts him. I think that we don't out and out, we don't say nigga and Jew and kike, and we don't say fag, and we don't do all this shit no more because we have Facebook. So we don't gotta do, like Chris Rock said, there's an app that lets you know if your friends are racist. It's called Facebook, and it's true. We don't say them out loud. We just put an egg avatar up and say vile shit. So no, I think and every week you'll read about some cop or some executive that says something racist on Facebook and get fucking fired because they think it's just them.
Right.
When you talked about that Debbie Reynolds, I told that on social media. So now people don't even got to be in a room to hear you say it.
When that happens, there is usually a level of outrage behind it.
And
Whereas
And
50
right
years
behind
ago,
that,
it would've just came out.
if you read the most horrible thing that happens, like what happened in Charlottesville to Heather Heyer, don't read the first 3 lines. Read the 3 lines after that. Read the 3 lines after that. Read the whole thread, and read how people justify the bullshit, the shit they say. I mean, I'm not even trying to be hyperbolic. Read the whole line, and I'm telling you, at best it's 70-30. At best.
So you're saying that a lot of people still blame her for being out there and so forth?
I think a lot of people have said some insane, horrible things. I think that people, and I don't care if it's the people getting shot and those 50 people getting shot in Orlando. I don't care if it's those 9 people getting shot in Charlotte. I don't care how heinous the act is. Read those threads after it. Any Facebook post.
Okay, you're talking about the comments.
Yes.
Ah, right. Well, I mean, for the first time ever, you now have a situation where people could publicly speak anonymously.
That's right.
And say whatever
That's
with
right.
zero repercussions.
So that's,
You know,
when you read any Facebook post and you read the comments and see the shit they say, you realize we were never as far as we pretended to be. Never.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, because you're now, back in the day, if someone said something about you, there was a repercussion. There was a certain fear that person might approach you afterwards. Now you're completely insulated from that.
Yeah, you could put an egg avatar up and be just anonymous and go back to work. Now what they're doing is finding out where you work. And if you and that's what they do. People are posting pictures of people that were at those rallies and they're like, wait a minute, I didn't know you was gonna see me. Yes, motherfucker, I saw you by torchlight. I saw you. Like when you got the same torches from Gilligan's Island, I don't know. You got the same tiki torches I used to keep the bugs off me in the backyard. I didn't know the smell of citronella kept niggas away too. I had no idea that was what's happening.